Hi, I'm Morgan Greenwald. I'm a sophomore at Palisades Charter High School. I take classes at SMC, which is cloud computing, and classes at West LA College, which is a business law class. I play club soccer and tennis in my free time, and I also do art.
Hi, I'm Tyler Rowland. I'm a junior at Palisades Charter High School, and I also take a database AWS class at SMC, and I also play soccer.
Very nice, Tyler. And this guy is Skyler Josinger. I am also a junior at Palisades High School. I also take the SMC cloud classes, but I did not put that there. I'm interested in music, which ties in to our presentation, and I did track and field for 2 years, but junior year, APs, I sadly had to quit this year. So,
who here enjoys music?
Of course. If you did not raise your hand, you are lying. So, how did we get here? Well, Morgan, would you care to tell us?
So, as we said, we're all part of an AWS database class at our high school with dual enrollment at SMC, and our professor introduced us to Scale 18x, and though we don't know much about it, we wanted to learn more, and so we decided to tackle Tensorflow, which is what our presentation will be on today. I personally have no musical experience, tried, been there, done that, couldn't do it, so that's why I now play sports. But Skyler?
Yes, Skyler over here is an aspiring musician, right? And I've spent over 1.5 years, practicing music, and I'm in AP Music Theory right now. Been making songs in FL Studio, but to no avail. I've been spending 1.5 years, and none of my songs, they don't sound very great. But we'll talk about the brief history of music and go in depth on why music is so complicated and how AI can help us make music. So here's the overview. We have early music, what is TensorFlow, Ableton, and we'll get into that because it's not really open source, but that's how we'll demonstrate some of the concepts that we'll go over, how it works, demonstration, and then the final product, which is a song that we'll all make together live.
So, the brief history. So, this is the flute. This was the first ever instrument made. It was made 44,000 years ago, and it's made out of elephant ivory and bird bone. And over here are some trumpets made 3,300 years ago in Egypt, made of bronze, copper, and silver. Right here is the hymn to Nikal. It's a Hurrian song. It's in cuneiform, written on clay tablets, and it's from Syria. And I also put a picture of the church here because during the medieval era, church used music as meditation and prayer. And instruments and music were associated with pagan culture, which created a cappella.
Yeah, so as music progressed through the years, it also became more complicated. And I think it's also interesting to point out that, it's almost human nature to do music. Music was developed in various cultures around the world, separate from each other. And we'll talk about that in the future as well.
And as music was progressing, polyphony created new pitches and a more complex notation system with key signatures, time signatures, chords, harmonies, and tones, which makes music harder to make.
Modern music. If we asked some of you today to name a musical instrument, I'm assuming the piano or trumpet or clarinet would be common instruments to be named. But why can't AI be one of the common instruments that we name? Because it is a tool that we are all going to use in the future to make music. It's the same way that the people with the ivory flute, couldn't imagine the musical instruments we had today. The people today can't imagine the future of AI music, but that's our new musical frontier, and we're here to explore it.
Okay, so I made a Google forum to see how many people knew what AI music was and if they knew what TensorFlow was. So From here, only 73% of people actually knew what AI-generated music is, or have not listened to AI-generated music. And actually 91% of people haven't heard of Tensorflow, so that's why we're gonna show you what it is today. And we also asked how often people listen to their favorite song, and most of the people said they listen to it daily, and a lot of people also said they listen to it weekly. And we also asked what machine learning was, and most people actually do know what machine learning is from our survey.
So the music industry is very prevalent in everybody's life. I know for myself, I had to drive to get here, and on my way here, I didn't sit in silence. I listened to music. And as you can see, $20 billion in revenue was brought into the US alone in 2018. The most popular song on Spotify, or the most played song, is Shape of You by Ed Sheeran, and people don't get a lot of money for their streams, but the maximum you can get is 0.0084 cents. But this song had over 2 billion streams, which means it made over $16 million, which shows how big of an industry it really is.
And once AI gets to a level where you can mass produce, amazing songs that people will want to listen, we're talking a lot of money here, people. So, yeah, and technology is revolutionizing music. So we started with a simple flute, and we went on to Mozart, right? But modern technology has changed the music as we know it today with music consumption. So streaming services mentioned before, like Spotify, we have YouTube. AI has already played a role in recommendations. So like if you listen to a Drake song, they know you like, I don't know, what, Lil Yachty, something like that. Radio and TikTok. Some people are making songs specifically to get onto TikTok, and that's how some of our youth, some friends that I know, actually find some of their favorite songs through TikTok. Technology has also changed music production. So before, music used to be reserved for like high-class people like Mozart, and it was a very expensive field to get into, where you would need like people to hire to play these instruments. But now you can have an entire orchestra within your computer. Like Contact, for example. You have powerful synths like Serum and Massive to create new sounds that have never been heard before, and advanced digital audio workstations where you can actually go in and make your own music. And so today we'll be using Ableton, but another open source digital audio workstation is Audacity. So if you want to try that out, it's pretty cool. But the next step in music production is artificial intelligence. And yeah, so here's an example of a song that is far better than mine, and why I need the help of AI. Okay, I'll spare your ears. So that's what a song I hope to aspire to make. I can't. I just can't, because I'm not good enough. But AI can help me. So AI can revolutionize how we create music and who can create music. So that goes into the the expensive aspect. You could be a computer nerd, for example, master the art of creating music with AI, and you can go to the big dogs with like Ariana Grande or Ed Sheeran, for example. That's in the future, though. So, and there are already companies who are using AI to make music. So Ava, Popgun, and Amper Music, while they don't like directly create music, they do help in the sense that, someone who's making music can install this or purchase it because it's not open source. You have to pay money for this, which is why we don't like them. But so Ava, for example, you have different genres that you can select, and it'll auto-generate some MIDI or some music within that genre. And albeit it's not the greatest, but the point is the musician did not have to use any of their brain power to do that. They're working with the AI and the music that is created, and they can alter it in a way that they see fit. So they're collaborating with music instead. But all these are not open source. We don't like that, because this is a Linux Scale 18X conference. Right? We're all about open source. We like open source here, right? Open source.
So machine learning versus deep learning. This was a bit of a learning curve for us since we had never worked with AI before, and learning about this was quite challenging. So machine learning is a small section of artificial intelligence, and it can automatically learn without being programmed with the given input it has, and it improves upon the input it was given. It alters it. And deep learning uses artificial neural networks to modify the input and create new forms from what it was given. What is Tensorflow? Tensorflow is an end-to-end open source learning platform. End-to-end means it goes they would be created into vectors, and those vectors would be compared to another group of vectors of music. And so if your certain emotion was at a certain point in the plane, it would be compared to the same musical point in another plane, and that would be the sound that you would use. That would be the raw data that was chosen as your input to run through the system. So Magenta is open source as it is powered by Tensorflow, and it can be used to create large neural networks with many layers, and it is a Python library. But we don't know Python, and so that's why we're just using it as the plugin for Ableton instead of through Tensorflow.
So this being a Linux conference, we thought it'd be important to tell you how to install Tensorflow within Linux, right? So these are the basic steps. So the way we did it in our AWS class, we opened up an EC2 instance in Ubuntu, and within that we ran these codes, and that's how we installed TensorFlow. Yeah. So this being a Linux conference, we thought it'd be important to tell you how to install Tensorflow within Linux, right? So these are the basic steps. So the way we did it in our AWS class, we opened up an EC2 instance in Ubuntu, and within that we ran these codes, and that's how we installed TensorFlow. Yeah.
And then this is how to install it on a browser. We use Jupyter Notebook. Again, both of these, you need to know Python if you want to have your output come out correctly, and that is actually the next course we will be taking. So come back next year and you'll see this done with Python. But for this year, we still want to be able to create music with AI, so instead of using something that required Python such as Tensorflow or Jupyter Notebook, we decided to use Ableton. This is everything you would have to import to begin Tensorflow, but this is, again, Python. You would have to use Python, so this isn't what we did.
Okay. And mentioned earlier, the digital audio workstation we'll be using is Ableton. Ableton is one of the most popular DAWs that you can use, one of the most powerful. It's used in the professional music industry a lot. It's not open source, but they do have a 30-day free trial for their most expensive version of their program, and it's completely free, so check that out. Offers many different options for creation, and no Python is needed. You know, as we mentioned before, we're not at the level where we can dream and code yet, but we're working on it. So, and some of the features of Ableton, it uses MIDI files, and that is the form of the data that we'll be using. So I mentioned earlier that some of these require inputs of the data, and the data that is being inputted is in the form of MIDI files, which is musical instrument digital interface. And it's still possible to use Magenta Studio without Ableton Live. So if you're on a laptop right now, you can go to Magenta Studio, and they have an option where you can install all of their plugins without Ableton. The only problem, it's not as intuitive if you're not using Ableton, but you can still use it. And the way that works is you would open the program, drag in your MIDI files, and then run it that way. And we'll go into that. And
yeah, so the 5 features of Magenta Studio are Continue, Generate, Interpolate, Groove, and Drumify. So what you do on Continue is uses predictions with recurrent neutral network and can follow things like duration, key signatures, and timing. And increased timing is more variation. So you can choose the number of variations you want and how long you want it. And the feature is it's similar to Continue, but it does not need input. It's helpful with Creative Block, and it uses variational autoencoder, and it's trained from millions of previous melodies and rhythms.
So technically there is still an input, and that being the trained, but Magenta being the trainees of this thing. We just don't need to put in MIDI for it.
The third one is Interpolate. It is similar to Continue, but instead of taking one input that you make and putting it through the AI to come out with an output, or however many outputs you want, you take 2 inputs and you can mesh them together, and you choose how many clips you want or how many variations you want, and the first clip would be closest to the first one you chose, and the last clip would be closest to the second sound you put in, and so somewhere in the middle it's where they're most meshed.
And this is Groove. Groove is specifically for drums, and does anyone out here make music, use a DAW or? Hey, we got a couple over there. All right, so you know what I'm talking about. But basically, so when you create your drum loop using MIDI, right? So you have like one note that'll trigger a drum sound for a kick, for example. Groove will change the velocity of that. So we'll demonstrate all of these within Ableton. And it basically humanizes it. So for example, you could use Generate to create your drum loops, and then you can run that through. That will then humanize it, lowering the velocity, and making the times a little off. And Drumify is one of the newest features added within Magenta. And the way Drumify works is, say you've got a killer bass line, but you can't come up with a nice drum loop to accompany that. Well, Drumify can help. So you have your sick bass line, and then you would run that with Drumify, and Drumify would make a fitting drum loop with that bass line. So really increasing the workflow and speed of making tracks. And so what you need to do what we're doing is Ableton Live 10, and you can go to their website, install the trial version, and again, that'll last for 30 days. Magenta Studio, that you can go to their website and make sure you click on the Ableton Live 10 plugin, specifically made for Ableton. And again, as I mentioned, you don't need Ableton Live 10 to play around with the Magenta Studio. You also need Max 8 for Ableton to run Magenta Studio. Max 8 is basically like a visual programming language where you can make videos and stuff, but that's just the assistant to help Ableton run Magenta. And now, without further ado, wait, what is this? Yeah, this is a live demonstration. We're going to make some music, guys. Oh, no, you're not supposed to see that. There we go. Okay, so right now we are going to open up Ableton, if I can find it. So, Launchpad. Ableton Live 10 trial, right here. So that's opening it up. Trial, Ableton, Live 10. Okay, here we go. I'll make this a little bigger. 28 days. Yeah, you get a full month of this. Okay, so let me full screen. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. So you just open up Ableton. You've installed the things we told you to install. So the first thing you want to do is you want to drag in the Magenta plugin into a MIDI track, or any of the tracks over here. Now, word of warning, you do not want to open up more than one Magenta Studio plugins, or else it just won't work. So
you screwed up so you don't have to.
Yes, we screwed up so you don't have to. And as it's loading, it's a pretty beefy plugin, so it'll take some time to load. How's everyone's scale going? Oh, you want me to sing?
That's why we're using the AI, so you guys don't have to hear that.
Okay, so here we go. That's what it looks like down there. So we have continue, interpolate, generate, groove, Drumify, all the things that we went over, and we'll show you how to use them. So I'll let Morgan take over. Do you want the mic or? Okay. Yeah. So Morgan over here is dragging in a sound that is okay. So what do we think of that? Do we want to use that? Just tell us stop when you hear a good sound.
First one?
Okay, so we'll be using the first one. So now she's dragging the sound into the MIDI track. And then we have some preloaded MIDI files in here. So the way MIDI works is MIDI is basically just how we tell the computer to play the music. So we drag it into sound, right? But without the MIDI, the computer doesn't know what sounds to play. So that's why we're helping the computer out.
And you can also create your own sounds. We dragged in one that was previously made, but you can create your own input and baseline for what you want to come out of it.
So now continue is being open right now. And there it is. It'll open in a separate thing, so you might have to go at a full screen from Ableton. Yeah, so now we have continue over here. Oh, whatever. Hopefully it'll still work. Yeah, so you can see that there are two options. There's drums and melody. So you can use continue, which is, right, what does continue do, everyone? Oh no. Oh no, we failed. So continue we'll take the your original input MIDI, and it'll continue off of that, right? And okay, we'll demonstrate it. It'll play the before when we do the continue.
We can play the before as well. So for here, we chose melody because we didn't want to use drums. The other option is drums. We chose the input that we had put in, or we had chosen the sound we originally chose, and then the second thing we chose is the input we gave it. The variations is how many different outputs we're going to get. The length is how long each one is going to be, and the temperature determines how different it will be from the original. So I went for 1.2, but if we want to be a little spicier, we can go for 1.3. Cool. So be careful because it's going to be intense.
And you want to be careful with temperature because if you crank that thing up, you might not get some good sounds. It might sound a little crazy. So now I think it's loaded in Ableton. Yeah, and as you can see, we originally started with one MIDI track, right? But now look at this. We've got so many more, and we didn't even make these. Isn't that crazy?
So here's the original one.
Whoa. Oh my god, and it loops again. Did you guys hear that? Oh my god, we didn't even do anything, and that sounded okay. So you can see in the, so this is MIDI right here, you're looking at MIDI, and there's a keyboard on the left to help you. And that's all AI right there. We didn't even do anything, you know. If we had some more skill, we'd probably layer on some sounds, do some harmonies with that thing, but we're not there yet.
Next, we're going to take the two of the sounds we just made, and we're going to use Interpolate, which uses two inputs to mash together and create something new. So that's what we're going to do right now.
And again, it's very similar to continue. So you choose the track that you want, and of that track, you choose two of the sounds or melodies created, and you're going to mash them together. And the steps, what steps are, so steps determines on how many new MIDI tracks will be made, and like we said before, because we're making 4, that means that the first MIDI track that will be created will be most similar to the first entry, and MIDI track number 4, or the fourth one created, will be most similar to the second input that we made. So if you want a good mash of both of them, you might want to select something in the middle. And that's not bad. That's not bad. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, so there you go. There's Interpolate. Again, we started with 2 generated sounds, and we have another melody. You know, it's crazy what music is going on. Okay, but our song is lacking right now. We have some cool sounds, a cool melody, but I think we need some drums. Do we need some drums? Yeah. Yeah, we need some drums. Okay. So again, you need a MIDI track. So we'll insert a MIDI track here and move that over. And again, we'll use some stock drum kits. We'll use that, why not? So we'll drag that into the new MIDI track. So there's our drum kit. And I'll get rid of that. So back in the thing. So let's generate some drum sounds. And so you can generate melodies and drum grooves as well, drum loops. Let's click this right here, open up generate. So we'll do some drums, track, we'll do our drum kit, clip. Oh, I'm going too fast for you, okay. Oh, come on computer, you can do this. There we go. Slot 1, variations, let's go with 5, temperature. We'll keep it mellow. And let's generate. Boom. Look at that. We got some drums. Let's play them. Okay. Not bad. Whoa. Oh. Oh. I'm liking that. This is some jungle vibes. It's pretty chill, mellow. Not bad. Let's see how does that work with some stuff we generate. Oh man, it's a song. We have a song in the works, ladies and gentlemen. But wait, it can get even better. What was that? There's more? There's more! Can you believe it? Okay, so we generated some drums, right? I think 3 of 6 is pretty good, so I'll just delete all the other ones. We're not going to use these. And we can still do more. We can still do more with this drum kit. So say we generated some drums and we had a really complex melody, so the drums that were generated didn't work, and we have no musical talent, so we look over to Drumify. So the way Drumify works is so generate, what is it called? Magenta. Magenta, they trained all of these tools on songs that were previously trained on. We didn't train these things, but we kind of can now. So if we select our melody right here and we choose clip, what is that? 3 of 5. Where are you? 3 of 5. What is it called? 3 of 5. Oh, I don't know. Oh, we'll just do this one. Why not? So the way this works is, so we have our melody in this channel right here, this channel rack, and Drumify will create drums based off of the melody that we fed it. So let's Drumify it up, people. Okay. So whoa, there we go. So there's a MIDI, that's what it looks like. And let's drag this over into the drum rack so we can actually hear what it sounds like. So we'll turn this off and then turn this on. And notice how some of the notes are grayed out and these red bars, that's velocity. So it's already been run through the groove thing, and we'll do that as well. So let's hear that with this. That's not bad. That's not bad. Okay. So let's do. Do you want to make another song? We're gonna start over in the beginning. Maybe some new sounds. Yeah. Okay. So let's close this. Down save. So we'll run through it one more time for any of you following along, if you are. So how's everyone's scale doing?
Please save on questions.
Oh, for sure. Oh my gosh, you are a genius. I didn't even think that. Wow. Yes, we'll totally do that. And please, if you want us to do anything else, tell us. We'll do whatever you say. More cowbell? Oh.
We don't have a MIDI file for that, sorry.
So I guess we can't do everything. I'm sorry. Yeah, what sound do we want? Can you see the sounds up there? Can we close strings? So what sounds? We got pianos, synth leads. Whoa, synths. All right. Yeah, let's hear some sounds. Whoa.
I apologize.
That's crazy. So tell us, what do you guys want? Are you feeling this sound? This one? All right. We got one vote for this one, so we're doing it.
Executive decision made.
Yes. Do we load in the magenta thing?
No,
Oh, very important. We can't do the demonstration without magenta. So yes, always remember to load in your magenta plugin. And keep in mind, this is completely free. Like, guys, open source? Anyone? Yeah. Well, not all of this. 30-day free trial, though. That's pretty good.
You can still make the music with Magenta Studio. It's just this we thought would be easier to demonstrate live. So we use Ableton and use Magenta Studio, which is open source, as our plugin.
Cool. It's loading. Loading. That is, yay! And let's actually draw on some of our own notes and see how that plays out.
So instead of dragging the pre-made MIDI file that we used last time, now we'll demonstrate making our own input to run through it.
Hopefully it'll sound just as good. I don't know. No promises here.
Again, I didn't take music, so I don't know what these letters mean. C, F.
Yeah. I'm in music theory, and I don't even know either.
But I'm going to make the song.
Yeah, once again, demonstrating that, this is an easy plugin to use. You don't have to aspire to become the next Ariana Grande, the next Drake, but, if you just want to play around and make some sick tunes, you can totally do this. Yeah, it's pretty simple to do. Si, senor. So let's see what that sounds like. Yeah, I like the vibe of this.
All right.
So what do you want? So let's do. What are we doing? Continue.
Sure.
Yeah. So we'll do a continuation off of that short little melody, and let's see what Magenta spits back at us. And let's try the 2 temperature for our man over there.
2.
Let's do it. Let's do it too. Are you ready? I don't know what's gonna happen, man.
Crazy, man.
Sure.
For those of you that can't handle, please leave the room now.
You were warned. Oh my God. Ooh. Man, maybe there's something to salvage in there. We'll give a couple more a chance. It's pretty. It's like you're underwater, but something's going terribly wrong. Your submarine. No. So once again, yes, while a computer did make all this stuff, human creativity is still in there. So it's not entirely like, oh, AI did it, so there's no soul. It's what the person does with it. That's what I think personally.
Yeah, but when the dog whistle comes in, you can say that was all AI. Like, you definitely didn't do that.
Okay. But let's do another continue, this time with a lower temperature, and see if that is more palatable.
I hope everyone forgives me for deleting these. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So we'll go back to continue now. Let's bring that bar down.
2.
A tame.
What do you want?
A tame 0.5? 0.7. Now, be warned, you can get too hot and you can get too cold. You want to stay in that sweet spot. But let's see. I don't know. Ooh, I like those words.
past 1.5.
Not past 1.5.
Moderation in all things.
Exactly.
Ooh. That's like some futuristic elevator music. Not bad.
I kind of miss the dog whistle.
I don't. Let's continue.
So you can see how they kind of sound similar because the variation was lower, or the temperature was lower.
Right. What does this track need? Drums. Let's get some drums in there. Cowbell? All right. Let's try to find something with cowbell.
There's probably a search bar in which you can type in cow.
Okay, let's drag this through here.
Probably type Command S.
Oh, Command F.
Cowbell.
Oh.
It was already up there.
Cowbell.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's like 20 cows.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah, all of them.
All of them.
all cowbell.
We don't even need a melody, just like
Just
all
cowbell.
Exactly.
Bow.
Yeah.
All right. So let me just load up a drum rack real quick so I can. So here we have all of our drum sounds. Let's try all cowbell. That's crazy. Okay. I don't know, spinny wheel.
I don't know if the AI agrees with the cowbell.
No, it hurt us. It doesn't want to do. Oh, wait. Let's go to drums. Drum hits. Bell. Alright. You made us do this. So now I'm dragging in a bunch of cowbells into the drum rack. Oh no. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd my drum rack go? Uh-oh. No, it's in here.
It was in the magenta one.
Oh, where'd my drum rack go? Ableton users, any assistance? Drum rack disappearing? Okay, well, let's see.
We don't use open source software.
Fair enough. So, let's see. Okay, hold on. We'll just let that go in the background. Okay. Drum hit. Alright, there we go. No! It did it again. Ah, there it is. So, how's everyone's scale doing?
I feel like I've heard that before somewhere.
Get out of here.
Dog whistles make everything better, in my opinion.
No, what is this? You see, this is why you go open source. Oh my gosh. If I just import one, then it's just going to be one sound. I know. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. No. The man said more cowbells. We will give him more cowbells. Besides, I'm too invested to just quit. Get out of here. Okay. This is some good trackpad training. If anyone wants.
First in the world, you're not in the music business.
I did not hear what you said. Ooh, that's a beefy one. Okay, last one. There we go. So now, we go in here, we got all our cowbells. Let's just put in a bunch of random cowbells. Is that enough cowbell, everyone? Oh, enough? Oh, I thought that was the part where you were supposed to say more cowbell, but fair enough. Okay. Ooh. It did. Guys, you might be onto something. This might be new music genre right here.
We all have like cowbell synthwave.
Well, let's yeah, for attending this.
Anyone need a background check?
We are selling the cowbell soundtrack, so if you would like to buy the rights to it, come see us after the presentation.
So we're going for 2.0 on cowbell because we're going full crazy.
Do it. This is what we came for.
Oh my God. Yeah, let's not do 2.0 ever again. We'll do Drumify. Yeah. See, my man's is learning over there. He knows 2.0. Don't mess with it. So let's try Drumify. So hopefully it'll match the audio clip that we select. Do 1, temperature 1, boom, do it, generate. Okay. And here it is, the chosen cowbell loop. It works. Yeah. So how are we doing on time? Are we done?
Yeah, we're on time. We'll take questions.
All right, now let's do some questions. Any questions out there?
Pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I know.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what we
Oh.
are going next.
Yes. There are some projects that have like made music with AI. To my knowledge, I don't know if they specifically used Magenta Studio, but in the plugins that they did use, they used Amper Music, for example. They all work in the same way, in a sense. And the music that they made was not entirely made by AI. Like, they generated some stuff, and then they inputted some stuff that they like, changed some notes here and there. So, yeah. But, yes, music has been made with AI.
How does today's song compare to others that you have done during your practice?
Well, so like you heard, the songs that we made live in front of you, they were kind of like video game vibes, a little elevator vibes. But like I mentioned before, it's all about the collaboration between humans. So if you want to make like a mellow track with AI, you could slow down the tempo, lower the temperature. Yes, Morgan?
I was also just going to say, in our experimentation, we have used all 5 and put them each in a separate track and then played them all together. That wasn't great, but it was a very fun experience. So we found that, sticking with fewer and slower came out better typically.
How long did it take you to get this track
A long time. Because originally we were trying to do it with Tensorflow, but when you don't know Python, it's quite difficult to make music using Python. So that's when we had to resort to using Ableton so that we wouldn't have to code the neural networks which our input would be going through.
Yes. Oh my God! Let's do that right now! I love this stuff. So let's do that. Temperature, 0. Oh my God, what's gonna happen? Melody, generate. So it should pop up in here. Oh wait, yes. Okay, overwrite that. Here we go. Shut up. Yeah, so look, so over here, that was the original MIDI that we inputted. And you were in front, you were right, it did mellow out. They removed one note. Wow. Let's look at some others. Exact same.
Yeah.
So don't do 0 and don't do 2. Any other questions? Yes. Well, okay. Well, again, like I said, it's about the collaboration between the person and the AI. So, well, yes, the AI did, spit out these notes. There was an original input, training data, and at the end of the day, if you don't like it, you're not going to use it. So.
I was also just going to say that with everything comes pros and cons, and I feel like with every major change or minor change in music, there's going to be some people that don't agree that it should happen, And so this is something new, it is a change, and the people that like the old ways are probably not going to be happy with it. But if you get on the frontier of it now, then it'll be easier to go along with the change, and I think it'll be better for it. Yeah.
Yes.
So using voices is a little difficult because that's mainly an audio form, and unfortunately this only works with MIDI, right? But I mean, I'm sure you could do it if you use like a vocoder or something. You could probably get some sweet sounds out of that as well. Any other questions? Any other questions? All right. So I guess, are we done?
Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.